The champion swimmer once suspended for taking a palace flag is Dawn who?
Fraser.
Fraser. Correct. In films titled Alice in Wonderland, which character typically wears a top hat?
Mad Hatter.
Pass. The Mad Hatter. Which palindrome means a radio device that detects the presence of objects?
Radar.
Radar. Correct. Limousin is a historical region of which European country?
France.
Correct. The Worldwide Fund for Nature logo is typically white and which other colour? Black. Correct. How many legitimate grandchildren did Henry VIII have?
2. None.
No. The hashtag Baychella refers to Beyonce's headline act at which music festival? Pass. Coachella. On a compass, what direction is indicated by the letters NMW?
North-northwest.
Northwest. Correct. The name of which opera house is Italian for the staircase?
La Scala.
Pass. La Scala. Which famous Scottish course has hosted golf's Open Championship the most times? St Andrews. Correct. In which Asian country did pop culture inspired lunchboxes Kiara Benny originate? Japan. Correct. Oh, just the minute. Woo! That was a great round. Has $14,000.
For a while.
What do you want to do with some cash?
To upgrade my trip to Europe,
Yep.
which I'm taking to celebrate finishing my degree.
Excellent. 1 minute on the clock, Charlotte. Very best of luck. And your time starts now. Superman's traditional costume is mostly blue, and what other colour?
Red.
Correct. Featured on the Deadpool 2 soundtrack, the song Ashes is by Celine who?
Dion.
Correct. The Latin word luxuria is used to denote which of the 7 deadly sins?
Pass.
Lust. Which letter is on the most tiles in a standard English game of Scrabble?
E.
Correct. Literary character, pilot James Bigglesworth is better known by what nickname?
Biggles.
Pass.
Biggles. It's Complicated and The Intern are films by US director Nancy Hu.
Pass.
Myers. What is the 3-letter IATA code for Melbourne Airport?
MEL.
MEL.
Correct. What term for a pleasure trip by boat is a homophone for plural of crew?
Cruise.
Cruise.
Correct. A postal facility. 9:40
Ah,
on
sod.
7.
Thank you.
And your time starts. But Chris, your time starts.
For a while.
What do you want to do with some cash?
To upgrade my trip.
I finished up. Thank you.
And your ride starts now. Which country's national ice hockey team has a maple leaf on their uniform?
Canada.
Correct. Scorpio, and which other Western zodiac sign?
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Writhing in pain after being tasered.
But Chris, your time.
For a while.
What do you want to do with?
I finished up. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your time starts now. In the NATO phonetic alphabet, which letter is represented by the word Yankee?
Why?
Correct. Noted for his impression of Malcolm Turnbull is comedian Lawrence who?
Pass.
Mooney. In which set of South Australian mountain ranges is Wilpena Pound?
Flinders.
Pass.
The Flinders. The finals of which tennis Grand Slam are played on Court Philippe Chatrier?
French Open.
Paris, France.
French Open. The Tonkinese cat takes its name for a place on which continent?
Asia.
Pass.
Asia. Which Soviet leader was
Oh,
a
for
founder
Tonkin.
of Green Cross International?
Ooh.
Boris Yeltsin.
Gorbachev.
Yeah.
Composer Carmine Coppola was the father of which renowned film director?
Francis Ford Coppola.
Fred Coppola.
Francis Ford Coppola. The informal term guesstimate is a portmanteau of the words guess.
Yes, an
and which
estimate.
other?
Estimate.
Correct. In which decade was Joan Kerner Premier of Victoria?
1980s.
In the 80s.
90s.
Yeah.
Winners of the 2018 NBA Championship with the Golden State Warriors. Jenny.
Ooh.
$4,000 is the result. $28,000 for the team in total. That starts now. What animals race annually in Canada's Queen's Plate?
Horse.
Correct. The film Life of the Party co-stars Australian Jackie who?
Chris.
Weaver. Correct. What number is also the first word in the Gettysburg Address?
Four score.
4. To which continent is the tropical fruit langsat native?
Asia.
Correct. In which Australian state is the Snowy Monero Regional Council?
New South Wales.
New South Wales. Correct. Child's Hood's End is a science fiction novel by Arthur C. who?
Clark.
Clark. Which of the world's 6 major marathons is held in Illinois?
Chicago.
Boston. Chicago. What is the most populous town on the Isle of Skye?
Ooh.
Charlotte.
Portree. The qualification MFA stands for Master of Fine what?
Arts.
Arts. Correct. What is the official language of Yemen?
Arabic.
Correct. Who is the inaugural head coach of AFL team GWS? Kevin Sheedy. Correct. Horse Guards Parade is a landmark in which European capital? London. Correct. Who plays 90s TV medical prodigy Doogie Howser?
Not Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris. Which radioactive element is named after the Titan Prometheus?
Chris.
Uranium.
Promethean.
Mm.
Arthur Patton's successor as Australian PM was John who?
Charlotte. Howard.
Curtin. An indoor basketball court is typically what 2D shape?
Rectangle.
Correct. Hen of the woods is a species of which edible fungus?
Mushroom.
Correct. David Williamson wrote the play Emerald what?
Chris.
Isle.
City. Site of a famous battle, Balaclava, is on which continent?
Europe.
Correct. Halloween Jack was a persona of which late British rock star?
Charlotte.
David Bowie. Rhyming with minor, a short joke is called a one what?
Liner.
Liner.
Correct. Hainan Airlines is based in which country?
China.
Vietnam.
China. In which US state are the cities Corpus Christi and Lubbock?
Texas.
Charlotte. Kansas.
Texas. In which emergency service did MP Peter Dutton once serve?
Charlotte.
Ambulance.
Police. What netball position also means the filling in the chocolate? That'd be the seat. See, I like that a lot. 14, that's the gateway to victory. You will definitely need push that.
If I give you enough and you get them, then you could be going home with your money here.
Final chase after these news headlines.
Andrew next. The Melbourne woman jailed for a lone wolf terror attack. She said fights for his freedom.
Why the convicted child molester says he should walk free.
A speed camera van rammed.
The hunt for a very dangerous driver.
More train pain with new shutdowns.
I'll tell you which services will be hit.
The Hall of Shame revealing Melbourne's worst motorists.
No.
You won't believe how bad these drivers are. In a spin, a rescue to remember for all the wrong reasons.
And in weather, there is one more gloomy day to go. Then sunshine returns, lasting for much of the long weekend.
7 News is
This news update brought to you by Deliveroo.
Thanks to the newsroom for that. So 14 steps, I said that was a good haul for 2 players. Put you in the hunt. Goliath, we're good to go.
Yes.
It's time for the final chase.
Cold day. PBR has got a corrupted file.
Your time starts. Now, Melbourne is the capital of which Australian state?
Victoria.
Correct. In the Disney film Tangled, what equine animal is Maximus?
Horse.
A horse. Correct. Which US president was born in August 1961?
Barack Obama.
Correct. Berbere is a traditional spice blend from which continent?
Europe.
Africa.
Correct. What part of a leaf is its name with a major blood vessel?
Vein.
Correct. Fear Street is a book series by horror author R.L. who?
Stein.
R.L. Lovecraft.
Stop the clock. Fear Street is a book series by horror author R.L. who?
It's the only name author I can think of. R.L. Stein.
I have no idea, so happy to go with Stein. That rings the bell.
Yeah. Andrew. R.L. Stein.
R.L. Stein's the correct answer. Well done,
No.
Chris. Nicely played. Good stuff. First pushback. 10 to get. 1:28 on the clock. And your time, Matt, restarts now. The Rockettes are a famous dance troupe based in which US city?
New York City.
Correct. What island nation was once called the Ellis Islands?
Kiribati.
Stop the clock.
Group.
Only thing that's kind of coming to mind for me is Micronesia. I don't know why, but it seems to ring a bell.
Happy to go with that. Yep.
Try Micronesia.
Micronesia's not really a nation.
Tuvalu.
Yeah.
1:15 on the clock. 9 required. And your time restarts now. In which Australian city is the High Commission of India?
Canberra.
Correct. The TV series Snatch is based on a film by which director?
Guy Ritchie.
Correct. Which Big Bash League team wears a hot pink uniform?
Hobart Hurricane.
Stop the clock.
Yeah, I'm trusting you with fun.
Sydney.
Shock.
The Sydney Sixers.
It's the Sydney Sixers. Well done to you.
Well done.
2 pushbacks. 3 attempts. Great stuff. That 1 minute precisely with 8 to get. And your time restarts. Now, an arm of the Arabian Sea is the Persian what?
Gulf, yeah.
What theatre term is taken from the French for morning?
Matinee.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which subfamily of crab is named for a spooky apparition?
Ghost.
Correct. William Massey was a wartime PM of which country?
New Zealand.
Canada.
Stop the clock.
I think it's New Zealand.
Yeah, for me, it's Britain or Australia. I don't think Massey was an Australian Prime Minister.
No, he wasn't.
New Zealand?
Yeah.
So New Zealand, Andrew.
Yeah, I think you're right.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Well done. Good get, Charlotte. Now, 43 on the clock. 6 to get. Anytime restarts. Now, something very scary is commonly called hair what?
Raising.
Correct. In which state is Australia Zoo? Queensland. Correct. A Rogers and Hammerstein musical is state what? Fair. Correct. In which UK country was scientist Charles Darwin born? England. Correct. Which US singer had the 2013 hit song Applause?
Justin Timberlake.
Stop the clock.
No idea.
I don't know.
NFI.
Taylor Swift.
No, it's definitely not Taylor Swift. I would know that.
Yeah, okay.
Pause.
Beyonce.
Not Beyonce. Maybe Megan Trainor. Maybe.
Answer Andrew is Megan Trainor.
Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. 2 required. 19 on the clock. And your time map restarts. Now, on which continent did the noodle dish lo mein originate?
China.
Correct.
Yeah.
Norman Hartnell designed the coronation dress of which queen? Queen Elizabeth II. Got it.
Yeah. She got pretty close.
Fantastic work. Out of your 5 opportunities, you managed to convert 3 pushbacks.
Yeah.
Great hit rate. Well done, Chris and Charlotte. Sadly, I've got to say goodbye to your $24,000. Maddie?
I thought you did a great job on the pushbacks, guys, but I just didn't give you enough, did I?
Thank you very much, Tim. It's been a real delight to play with you and to have your company, as always. Look forward to seeing you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, a deadly rampage in Darwin. What led to the murderous shooting that left 4 people dead and 1 person injured? Also, hundreds of commuters stranded by a train tragedy. Details live. George Pell's fight for freedom, his alibi for the crimes that shocked the world. A terrorist makes legal history, sentenced to 42 years behind bars for an attack on a Melbourne father. A speed camera operator rammed and injured as his car was deliberately shunted into a tree. A royal reception for the PM at Buckingham Palace as bad economic news bites at home. And exclusive inside access, Neil Danaher's moving message.
A 33-year-old Hassan Bedouin, a cab driver taking a meal break. A woman also shot through a closed door.
She was screaming out that she'd been shot. I looked down and her legs were covered in blood.
She's now stable. The killer sped off in search of more victims. From the Palms Motel to Gardens Hill Crescent, the car park of the Buff Club. Finally, a recycling yard on Jolly Street in Woolner, where caretaker Johnny Reid heard his mate Rob shot dead.
Stood there for a minute, and then he lifted up the bloody gun and just went boom, 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 boom.
Johnny believes Rob, a former security guard, was a target.
I got a funny feeling he might have been.
Police say the attacks were not random.
It may be that he was looking for certain individuals.
At the Palms Motel, he kept screaming for a man named Alex, who was interstate.
So we've located that individual and we've spoken to him.
The weapon used was a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun. They're illegal here in the Northern Territory, and police say this one was sawn off and also
they're illegal
was
Australia-wide.
way back in 1997. Hoffman was reportedly fired from his job as a roofer just days ago. He did 4 years for violent assault, but was released in January.
He is an individual who's well known to police and he was on parole.
Monitored under strict conditions, just one minor breach of curfew. Such violence is rare in the top end.
This is not Darwin. This is not Australia.
But a local man is now facing 4 counts of murder.
And Rob Scott is outside the Royal Dutch
Mitch, these buses will be replaced.
security to fight for his freedom.
Sexually assaulted undetected, and that Pell's heavy
In Australia.
She's been red flagging up.
And a terrorist who tried to hack his neighbour to death has been sentenced to 36 years jail in a Sydney court. Isas Khan was inspired by Islamic State when he launched his attack. His victim's family cheered when the judge handed down the sentence.
He got what he bloody well deserved, the bugger.
The judge said the attempted murder was inhumane. A speed camera operator is afraid to return to the roads after his vehicle was deliberately rammed and shunted 30 metres until it hit a tree. The father of 2 is dealing with neck and knee injuries as police hunt the driver who struck without warning.
Trust.
With lights on high beam and no intention to stop, this is the moment a driver deliberately rammed a speed camera car.
This act is was extremely deliberate and dangerous.
The person in the four-wheel drive wasn't finished, pushing the car 30 metres along the side of the road before it crashed into a tree.
He could hear the revs of the car behind him.
This is the damage done to the car, but the emotional harm to the victim doesn't even compare.
The victim was just sitting in the front passenger seat doing his job. This car's come from behind and has just suddenly rammed him. He described he was in fear for his life.
The father of two hasn't been able to return to work.
People just trying to do their job. Everyone deserves to go to work and be safe.
After slamming into the car, the four-wheel drive did a U-turn and sped off down this road towards Bacchus Marsh. The offender's vehicle is described as a white four-wheel drive with a silver bull bar and a scoop on the bonnet.
He's very shaken up about what has happened.
Cassie Zervos, 7 News.
So they haven't identified the guy.
Home buyers are being urged to dump ANZ and Westpac in retaliation for them holding back on
400,000.
The US president labelled protests against his visit as fake news. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has met with the Queen at Buckingham Palace.
And domestic challenges.
The impact on staff will be relatively minimal. Tim Watson joins us now, and Tim, this is sad. Nathan Buckley on our health. There's more pain on the way for commuters in Melbourne's southeast, with a winter shutdown affecting 3 of our busiest train lines. The Premier is defending the closures, saying the disruptions are inevitable.
Melbourne's train network is being overhauled, but with growth comes growing pains.
The size and scale of these things really does mean that there will be some significant disruption.
Disruption for train passengers in the southeast. Next month, 3 key rail lines will be shut down to make way for work on the Metro Tunnel.
Which ones?
For 9 days, starting on July 6, buses will replace trains on the Cranbourne, Pakenham and Frankston lines between Flinders Street and Caulfield. Works extend to Moorabbin Station on July 13 and 14. There's also train pain on the Ballarat line, with coaches replacing trains between Southern...
Claims of military misconduct in Afghanistan. It's the second AFP raid on news reporters in 2 days, raising fears for the future of investigative journalism. They were not welcome.
Having been in possession of the material and its decision to publish, and that...
We know that people are purchasing soft drinks, they told us that. They also said that they're upsizing.
The Cancer Council's warning this appetite for online ordering comes at a cost.
These foods contribute to weight gain and chronic diseases, including 13 types of cancer, heart disease and type 2 diabetes.
The use of food delivery apps like Uber Eats and Deliveroo is increasing. 1 in 10 of us order food online at least once a week, and 1 in 6 eat a meal or snack bought outside of our homes every day. Last year, on one online food delivery service, Australians made 7,000 orders every hour. That's 2 every second.
Pre-plan what you're going to order. Think about whether you can get that extra serve of vegetables in and avoid the fried foods, and you'll be in a much better position.
Melina Saris, 7 News.
Melbourne was cloudy today, but other parts next on 7 News. Also fears crocodiles may have taken a missing 2-year...
Save a huge